Hello, everybody. Welcome back to our playoffs for Due Process League Season 1. We have an exciting match today. It's going to be the 4th place team, Red Team, versus Status Quo, the 5th place team. These teams are only separated by 1 Bushholz point. So, it's going to be a close match to say the least, and I'm glad you're all tuning in today. I'm Addax, I'll be your action caster for the first match, and I'm here with Spooky.
Hello, I will be just going over the general strategies from both teams and replaying plays. And hopefully, we're going to see some interesting plays today. We saw yesterday between DFC and Guac, we had some very interesting rounds and very close clutches. So I'm very interested in seeing if we're going to have those today.
Yeah, I'd have to agree with that. But these teams are very close, so I want to know, what side are you rooting for, Spooky?
Honestly, we've seen very strong plays coming from Red Team in the past, and the same can be said from Status Quo as well. So, honestly, I'm going to lean more towards Red Team, to be honest, because I'm honestly quite a big fan of the people on that team, and I've seen them play very well, and I think they can pull it together here and get a win.
Yeah, that's a fair assumption. Red Team has definitely had a bit more experience than Status Quo participating in the Alpha season, as well as they've just been a fairly consistent team. But since Guac upset them in the last week of our Swiss, I think Status Quo actually stands a chance here. So I've heard from Status Quo that they have beaten Red in scrims, and they've been training very hard. And while I do love the people on Red, Red has a great community around them. I need to go with Status Quo because I know Status Quo might be able to pull this one through. Not even might, probably gonna pull this one through, in my opinion.
All right.
Other than that, like I said, 4th and 5th place, only separated by 1 Bushhole stream. I mean, we all have predictions, so if you have any predictions, don't forget to just discuss those. But we will be getting into the match shortly here. And before we get into it, though, are any specific players that catch your eye or any plays that we've seen from these teams?
Well, I generally always keep an eye on specifically people on the Red Team, honestly, especially Mace and Cad, because they're always Mace is always a wild card for Red Team from what I've seen, and Cad just kind of has the brains of the operation, I would think, and I think that they're gonna come up with some interesting plans to attack here or defend, either way, honestly.
That makes sense.
Both side, I'm not entirely familiar with their team, but I know that they're all very solid players as well. So I don't know.
Yeah, on the side of Red, I've definitely spotted out Mace. He definitely has some strong impacts on his team, and he is kind of the wild card. You might see him get some pretty insane frags one round, and then kind of just chill, play support the next. And on the side of Status Quo, you have Fishy as the in-game leader, and I've really noticed Investigator and Jake really standing up and helping their team frag out and win rounds. So we'll see the conflicting minds here. I'm pretty sure the first match is coming up right now. So, if you give us just a moment, we'll slide right into this. Looks like the first map is going to be Kill House. You want to go over this?
It's a very... I believe we did see this map yesterday, where we had this office being used quite a bit with people hiding back here in this cubicle and with an auto shotty. We had a lot of plays where attackers would just rush in straight with the green door here and just kind of rush in, but it looks like the Status Quo is going for a little bit of a slow take here, moving very slowly up to the red door.
It does seem like it. That door charges on Jake. The Clacker's immediately going to go off. They pushed in here. Mace is stalled perfectly with a Molotov. The edge of that is just lined up with the office corner perpendicularly. Now, we're going to see Mace rotate back to the site. He's going to be holding those long ranges with the knack taps. We know he's good with it. Flashes are going in. They're still waiting for that Molotov. Remember, 20 seconds. That's a long stall for them. Mace is going to be pushing up just a little, but he decides to fall back to the bomb. Wallbangs are starting to come in from Swiss. He's going to get the initial damage, but Satrams has traded back an equal amount of damage. An equal fight for both sides. We're going to see all of StatusQuo stack them on this kitchen. They're going to have to take a 5v3 here. There might be a flank coming out from Commissar, but the initial fights are coming in. We're going to hear a shotgun blast go off. The door is open on kitchen, and it's just a firefight for the ages. Mace is going to get the first kill of the series with Satrams backing him up on 2. He's got the AK. Mace pushing up with Satrams, and Jake's finally going to neutralize him. Red Commissar, though, coming in with the flank. A shotgun to close the first round on Jake.
Well, that was, a very slow push on attacker's side, and it pays off for a little bit. But once the defenders get a little bit of a foothold on that area, it's very rough to hold off a push from the defenders to just rush into that office, especially with Commissar coming in with a flank. You have to make sure you're watching those doors. And Commissar had very well played that, coming in with the shotgun to just flank and using the chaos of all the gunshots to mask the sound of him opening doors and coming in from behind.
Exactly. They all got kind of cramped in that small area, and then they couldn't really do much.
It was a very good start for the red team, but StatusQuo is still not out of it. They still have one clacker and 2 more charges still. They still have the wall charge, still have the door charge. So if they can win this, especially with the charge, then they're in very good shape for the next map. But we're moving on to a C-store here. A very interesting one as well. The storefront is shaped very weirdly. It's kind of like a misformed T shape. And it does have a freezer that can stare right into the bomb defusal area. So this freezer, I'm assuming, is probably going to be a big point of contention, as the defenders are noticing here. They can shoot to this shelf to watch the bomb defuse. The freezer also provides an entry or an area to watch the entry for a green door here. And it also defends the power. So freezer is a big, massive foothold for both teams. I mean, it provides entry to the green door, provides entry into the bomb room and the power room. So very, very good spot for this freezer spot. And it looks like the attackers aren't going to be really messing with that too much, though. They do seem like they want to go for the green door push here, although I think they want to wall charge to that.
Yeah, they want to wall charge that.
Interesting. It's a very interesting play, and it works because they don't have to use the wall charge on the storefront. In fact, they're going to be better shape if they decide to go for the tellers.
Exactly.
And they can just hit this button.
There's a tight angle in storage as well, so they can just funnel the rotating defenders through that if it turns out that way. So
although we do have one defender, Red Commissar, with a DL shotgun. Just sitting in the corner storage. So this could put a wrench in the plan of StatusQuo if they don't check this corner.
Yeah.
Hopefully they'll check this and they'll be in good shape. But wall charge is being moved up here by Jake with the clacker as well. There we go.
He's immediately going to breach. He's already going in. The flash is out. Grudge checks the corner. He gets red.
There we go. Nice.
Going to be a clean opening to the round. Satrams is now in panic. He's got to take a close mob fight, but he can't do it. The wall charge is going to go off. Taking a 2v1 into Cad Monkey. Not going to happen, though. He's able to fall back with a pick on Garage. Immediately, Swiss and Jake are pushing onto Mace, but the Molotov is there. The Molotov stalled them out, and now Satrams has a better position on the bomb. That teller position is definitely going to hold tight for him, especially with that line of sight on the bomb. Now stuck on the right side of the map. We're going to see 3 players of StatusQuo. They're waiting patiently. Investigator outside waiting for that button to open. Cad's holding through the teller hole, and we're going to see Mace try to take it with him. Fishy is going to get that button open, and that's going to be a kill from outside from Investigator. Mace has to push into tellers, or else if he goes outside, Investigator's going to get him. That gives Jake a free kill, and now it's just down to Satrams and Derby. Derby is in that initial freezer position, and it looks like his team wants him to go for the flank, but leaving Satrams alone could be very bad here, especially if Investigator gets the shot off. Satrams is going to miss, though, barely missing the head of Hentai Investigator. Shots are going off. The Saber's going to win the duel, and the bomb's already being touched. Derby's about to peek this, but will Investigator back him up? The peek is there. Derby's just stalling it out now, but if Jake puts pressure on the bomb, there goes the flash. Derby going for the long flank through the wall. He's going to go for the stellar position. The footsteps are heard. He's got one, but now Investigator has to take the fight close with the Saber. The shades are closed now, and it looks like Derby, he's got an AK for this. He's got the close range fight. The taps are there. The door's going to open. He peeks it. Hentai Investigator is getting greedy, but he gets it. He gets the kill on Derby. He sticks the bomb, and it's going to be plenty of time for him to loot. sitting at 98% while he takes all of the utility off his dead allies.
Extremely close for red team there. Derby had almost clutched it together and gotten those 2 bomb diffusers, but investigators got the clacker back, and StatusQuo is in a good shape to win the next round as well for their team. They've got the charge, they've got the utility for it, they've still got the saber, which they can use for the factory map. I'm assuming it's going to be the next one, and now red team is down a few weapons as well. They're down. They had the attacker weapons that they had gathered from the kill house, and now they're all gone. So now they're back to square one with their equipment. They're not too down on equipment, so I think both teams have an equal chance of winning this next round. Actually, it just all depends on their planning now.
Also depends on this factory layout because we've seen some really close quarters factories, but we've also seen very, very stretched out and wide ones that are really good for saber play. So we'll see which side it favors in this. Remember, no more mop for these defenders. It was dropped as Investigator got 3 kills that round.
We are seeing a little bit of an open factory here. I mean, it's kind of a mix of both actually. We have a very close quarters office here with a storage that's sort of medium range. I mean, it's got this catwalk up here that leads up to office, but there's a lot of angles you can use to watch this door entry from servers. So not a lot you can do there as an attacker if you're coming in from the green door. And the same thing comes from the southern entrance into the main area for forklifts in this green entry. It's very open as you come in, and especially if you're not watching docks, it's very rough. So I think a very strong plan here would be to blow open docks and then come in through the green door, go into south green. But looks like the attackers have another plan here. StatusQuo wants to go for the office, it seems, which is not a bad plan either. This office gives you direct access into this bomb area, and it gives you access to smokestack, which having that height advantage is very important, especially on a factory map. And this allows them to kind of watch all their angles, especially on their flanks and storage and coming from smokestack.
Yeah, I think they've made the right call here. Considering power is on the backside of forklifts, there's probably going to be a player there, so they just don't want to take their chances.
Yeah, oh, it does seem like red team is stacking office. There's 3 of them up there. Or actually kind of 4. I mean, there's 2 people on smokestack and then 1 person in storage and 2 directly in office. So this is actually going to be a fight if they go for this office push, and it's going to happen instantly. They're going straight for that door.
There's an auto shotty and a clacker. Keep that in mind. The door charge isn't there yet, but I guarantee you Cad Monkey's already clacking away. It does look like it. Jake's got to time this perfectly. He might be the one dead here. He's going to be from the charge. Not going to get off in time, and Swiss is going to immediately enter. Satrams has Investigator from a long angle. He's sitting on the catwalk, and he can't pick it up. A sightline onto gives a kill for Commissar, but Garage finally has a trade onto Cad. Satrams is going to peek it now, but Garage is in the same position as Investigator. He has to rotate off that, and a fight's going to occur. Satrams finally rotating off to Fishy's position, but Mace cleaning up office as it's peaked. There's too many angles to watch there, and all Fishy can do is either go servers or office. Commissar's watching it, and he's just going to clean it up with the Igmar. Only 1 member of red team going down that round.
Wow.
Pretty off meta play, but I mean, they countered it properly. They knew the rotates and they knew the long angles that they had to hold, especially with that break room cover down there.
Yeah, that was an absolute slaughter on red team's side. Very well played to use the clacker that they had secured from that first round. I believe what they did was they on the kill house when they had won, they secured a clacker from one of the bodies and they saved it in their actual arsenal instead of using it on the C-store and just stuff. And it came in clutch this round where they're able to instantly take out 1 player on the breach and then use that surprise to catch another StatusQuo member on the outside by sniping from the inside of office outside. So honestly, that was a really, really big play for red team, and it paid off for them. And now with the scores at 1-2 in favor of red team. But they're moving on to attack now, and it's going to be interesting to see how they decide to tackle this map instead, rather than how StatusQuo decided to go it. Remember, StatusQuo decided to use the office last time, and they got kind of funneled in there, and they got rotated on. They had multiple people go down just trying to get into the room. So I wonder if red team's going to notice this and try to go for another entry. And I think that's exactly what they're doing. They seem like they want to go for this green door entry, which is not a bad entry, although there is a lot of spots where things could go wrong. Especially in this hallway where there could be shotguns hiding behind any of these corners.
Yeah, a lot of the time there's a central hallway in these newer kill house maps, and they're either really good for flanks or they're very good for wallbang plays. So essentially, if you sit somebody in kitchen on the bomb, you can easily rotate to a flank, or you can hold the kitchen door from office. So we'll see. We'll see if these teams imitate plays. But looks like Red might be changing up what they do, even though they're going to the same destination, the bomb.
Yeah, I mean, we're seeing that Status Quo decided to go for a straight direct entry into office, and it looks like Red Team wants to take it a little bit slower and go through the green door and eventually make their way to office. But they are going to split up between hallway and office possibly, so that they can kind of disperse their forces and clear out the map more, so that they don't get flanked. Which is it's a very strong plan, and we haven't seen much split plays, but we are going to see it here, it seems.
Yep. It looks like the push is already coming in pretty fast from Red Team. They are going to lead it with Red Commissar. He's rushing to that window, and they're going to bother to clear out. They're taking the time to clear with the smoke coming in on the north side of the map. They've cut off the rotate, essentially. If Jake tries to peek that door through the barbed wire, he's going to be dead. Locker's control already given up, but Investigator is on the north side of the map. He might be ready to contest Satrams here. That is going to be the case, but Investigator's taken out. Satram's still on a fair amount of HP to win another fight, and it looks like Cad's going to start taking a fight with Garage. He is traded out finally, and it's going to be a 4-on-4. More damage on Red Team, though. Satrams is pushing in on low health. He doesn't have a teammate to support him, and Garage is just going to get another for free. Fights are happening in hallway, though. It's going to be shotgun versus shotgun as Jake peeks around the corner. He's falling back now, and Fishy getting flashed out. It's going to be Derby to take a 1v2, but the shotgun's there from Jake. Garage getting another on Commissar, but everybody, almost everybody, still alive. The only pick being given up is going to be Hentai Investigator at that initial gunfight.
Yeah, very strong hold on the side of Status Quo. Garage was just holding off with the Allegros in office, just kind of holding off against the flood of attackers rushing in, and then able to secure another kill in that round to honestly put Status Quo in a very good position to win these next few defender rounds. Although, to be fair, Red Team did not use too much utility, so perhaps this is maybe what they expected using an eco push. They didn't use any charges, so their Red Team still has a large opportunity to win these next few rounds, considering they still have all their utility for the most part. They use very few smokes there, so they still have an opportunity to win these, but it's all up to planning still, and gunfights.
That's true. They could end up using a wall charge here just to go straight through storefront because they do have just that amount of utility, or we might see a mirror play. Not sure.
Yeah, it does seem like they want to go straight for this storefront and go for that bomb, maybe, but they're still discussing their opportunities here and what they can do. Honestly, this map is a little bit difficult to try to attack, honestly. I mean, you could go straight for the storefront, but as they pointed out, there's a lot of sidelines you can watch from. You can watch the freezer, you can watch from the arcade, you can watch from the teller hole. There's a lot of spots where you can just get shot from, especially if you reach the storefront. But if you make your way through a slow push through, for example, freezer, you break through shed, they know you're coming, and then they can just rotate in from arcade and from storage if they're in there. Or freezer just has its good cover by itself as well. You can hide behind these bags to shoot at people coming in. A lot of areas where it could go wrong for attackers, so it's all up to flashbangs and smart use of utility to actually secure this map, I would say.
Yeah, I'd have to agree with that. And utility usage is definitely going to be key here, considering we did see a wall charge come out last time, and we might see a door charge or split push coming out this time. Other than that, the round going to be starting in 5 seconds. The attackers looking decently prepared. They seem confident in their plan, and this could be the end of them if Investigator decides to hold that with the auto shotty. It does seem like he is going to be rotating off, though, and holding in tellers. Mace and Derby holding on to Shed while Cad's waiting in the back with the Clacker. Shotgun's going to go off. That's a long-range peek from Fishy. No damage going to go off, though. The breach is on Shed, and Jake's called it out. He does have the DL12 shotgun here, but Swiss is taken out in the meantime from the first initial fight with Mace. 4 players in freezer. What are you going to do about it if you don't have an auto shotty like Investigator? Garage trying to take a close fight, but he's taken out by Commissar with an AP-25. Molotov going to go out for the stall, and no power yet. It looks like this might end up being a power play, but they're just stalled out in freezer. They're waiting, and Hentai Investigators rotated in with the auto shotty. No pressure on Bathroom, and Fishy can just stall here. Cad is finally gonna take some pistol shots into it, letting Fishy know he's there, but Hentai Investigators is gonna get 2. The nade does go off, but there's not enough. It's not enough. Hentai Investigator's already backed up. Jake is close now, and Commissar's going to go in for the kill. It might be the power hit here. That is going to be the case. And it looks like Hentai Investigator's going to come around the corner. He's got Commissar, and Fishy's got another on Derby. He doesn't realize Cat is there, though. But with those shots from Cat on the AP-25, Fishy's going to realize it. He's rotated onto the bomb site, and Hentai Investigator, he's either picked up some night vision and going for a flank, or he's just waiting for the right opportunity. Stuck in Bathroom now. Cad with a clacker. He either has to leave now that the power's back on, or he's got to risk giving up this clacker. Bathroom is a dangerous position here for him. With an AP-25, a shotgun could easily take him out, but Fishy's holding a similar position to what Investigator did on attack, just a long angle into the bomb. Cad's going to slowly clear out office, but time is ticking. The door's open. Shutters are going to open, but that's not to much effect. Cad's going to come out. Fishy is going to wait, actually, behind the shutters, and Investigator's going to clean him up easily with Fishy to back him up there. Still about half health on both of those members of Status Quo.
Yeah, that auto shotty came in like a actual thunderbolt on red team, just tearing through them and clearing them out, getting a 4K from Investigator with the auto shotty. That just goes to show how important those weapons are.
If that grenade was timed differently, that could have been a completely different round. Hentai Investigator could have been shut down after 2 kills, and then Red could have just flooded the right side of the map. But some good mid-round calls were made from Status Quo after they got those kills. They realized, hey, there's probably a player putting pressure on Bathroom, and Fishy realized that, so he fell back to his teammate, and they took a 2v1, giving them the round. That buddy system works, man. But we'll see if that buddy system works on Factory, because it is fairly spread out.
Yeah, once again, this factory is very large in the center, but it does have their those close quarters areas in most of the top side and the eastern side here of the map on servers, storage, and office. Very good spots for SMGs or shotguns, especially in servers. If people are coming in with this green door entry, you can just be hiding in here with a shotgun and just roll them down with the auto shotty, especially. But we did see the auto shotty being used last round, and I don't know if we'll see it here. It'd be interesting to see, but. I don't know if we've seen the mop yet. I don't think we have we? So
no,
it's probably
we have
be
not.
Used here.
Probably,
most
considering
likely
there's
going
a
to be
lot of Black Tars on attack, it's looking like.
Yeah, it's probably going to be used here up on the smokestack, more than likely, or even in a really aggressive position. I've seen recently mops being put into more aggressive positions on the actual entry doors, catching the attackers off guard, because it's a one-tap headshot to the head. So if you can catch an attacker off guard and instantly tap their head off, then it's a very good advantage for your team on defense. But we might see a bit more of a defensive mop here. I'm not too sure, but it does look like red team wants to go for maybe a dox push, perhaps, and smoke off their sight lines to make sure that they're clean and moving in. And it's not a bad play, although there's still, even if they smoke off forklifts, it's still a huge problem to get through this middle area. There's so many spots where you can get shot from, so they have to really be watching their corners and their sight lines to make sure they don't get shot. And there is a defender right underneath the dox door with a clacker as well. So actually,
I was gonna
if they hear them coming up, oh, we might see it get pushed.
Door charge is actually going to the north side of the map. It seems like they knew the clacker was there, so they just placed it down and waited for Jake to clack it. Now Cad's just going to go north side and make sure he can clacker his teammates. It's going to be a split push into office. Garage might be caught in the crossfire here as Fishy gets taken out from the Saber. It's going to be Jake to hold a long position, but Garage is just hiding. He has to worry about the window, but as well as the stairs, he's given away his position, and Commissar's going to take the fight. Garage is actually going to take him out, but Investigator's on the flank. He's got one, but Derby's there to refrag. Excuse me, Derby. And Swas is actually going to start taking a fight. Satrams is going to be on the bomb, forcing Swas to take a fight with Derby. All he has is an Igmar, but it's not going to be enough at close range. Satram's able to just stick the bomb, and that's going to be the second side swap for Red. 3-3.
Wow, bringing it very even here. The 3-3. Yeah, both teams are very even right now. They've been kind of tug of warring these rounds, winning some, losing some, and I don't know. I'm not sure what we're going to see in the next few rounds. Actually, this is actually very, very close.
Well, considering Status Quo has the lead, if they keep taking one and then giving one to Red at this pace, they'll have the map. So they just have to stay as consistent as they have been. Maybe just stick with the plans they have been and throw red off guard, or maybe change up those plans and try something different at the risk of either losing utility or having a lot more for the next round.
Yeah, we'll see what kind of plan they conjure up here for attack on Killhouse. Once again, status quo on attack, and red team is on defense. Back to the original setup, and we'll see a difference in status quo's plans here. We saw on that first round, obviously, the office push was not successful, and same thing with red team. Red team tried to push into office, and it was not very successful either. Both teams had a very good defense on this southern office side. So honestly, I think it's in both teams' best interest to kind of focus on this northern side, because this office seems to be a curse from what I've seen.
Yeah, both AKs are actually going to be picked up this round for the defenders. So if they end up going to factory with Grubers and Nax, that might be a little bit rough.
Oh yeah, if they use both of their medium range weapons here, then they're going to be in a rough spot if they do lose here for the next few rounds. And they really need to save the utility here, because this is the last rotation of maps here, the last few halves. So they're not going to switch after this. It's whoever wins this takes this first match, and then we'll move on to the second one. But they're just trying to win out some rounds here, I think. And honestly, it's not a bad play. They want to secure these rounds to make sure that they're not on the uphill battle, trying to win back more rounds and being down. And we're going to see a very basic setup here from defense. I mean, it's not a bad defense whatsoever either. They got barbed wire set up on office to make sure that it's not an easy push to just run in. And they do have quite a few people on this northern side, which I think is very smart, although it does seem like Status Quo wants to go for the same kind of plan that red team had, it seems, when they were attacking, moving into that green door and slowly making their way through hallway and office. But I don't know. We aren't seeing that many people in office actually defending it, so it might actually be easier for Status Quo to take this office push compared to both teams before.
Yeah, Commissar is actually going to be doing something kind of smart. He's either looking directly up or looking into the wall to prevent anybody from seeing that shotgun barrel. As Status Quo take the initiative here, they're going to get ready to breach. Door's going to get kicked down. Flashes are in, but will Garage realize the jerk is there from Commissar?
Oh,
His
Commissar's right there.
He's just waiting. Gonna take a fight with Jake, actually taking initial damage, but Investigator's taking a fight with Satrams. Satrams is lit up already, but Fishy's gone on the north side. He's gone alone with no teammates, but hallway control's already given up. Jake is clearing those corners. That's good for him. That's gonna help him out here, but will he win the fight against Commissar? He's got the tag. Commissar's on 1 HP, and he's gonna take him out. The trade is there from Satrams, and he's got 2 through the wall bang. Derby just waiting to stall the top while Garage taken out by Mace on the south side. And Nate is going to be in return. Head ties into the site, but it looks like Cat and Mace have 2-teamed him. A Molotov to stall it out, and it looks like Fishy's just going to have to go in alone here. He does have full health, but will he be able to take 3 full health players? An Igmar, an AK, and a Gruber. He's going to kick that door down. The wall bangs are coming in. Fishy's just got to go in for the kills now. Mace is lit up to half HP, but Fishy's just on one bullet, and he's dead. He might just try to grab the clacker here and save. And it looks like a wallbang from Derby across the map is actually going to take out Fishy, cleaning up the round and giving the round advantage to red team on this kill house. Good start from them in this round swap, or in this side swap, excuse me.
Very clever use of wall bangs on kill house. Kill house is a very crazy map for these wall bangs, and just spraying through the map to kill everyone. And we saw multiple wall bangs during that entire round. That hallway was just rough for Status Quo to push through.
Yeah, match point now for red team. It looks like Status Quo might be in a little bit of a ditch here. They have to win 2 rounds in a row, and keep in mind there are other chances for them. They do have a second and possibly a third map, but if they can win the initial first map here, they might crush red team's spirit. And we've definitely seen some frustrations come out from teams that just get kind of shut down the first map, and then it kind of snowballs with see a steamroll to other teams. And if red team does the same, I'm not sure how Status Quo will respond to that.
Yeah, I'm interested in seeing what exactly red team's going to do to defend this, because this is kind of a difficult map to defend sometimes, but it's also a very difficult map to attack. As mentioned before, there's a lot of angles you have to worry about once you move into the storefront as attackers. But as defense, you also have to worry about a lot of areas being wall charged, especially as we saw another end where we saw a wall charge coming into office. If anyone was holding this door from behind this desk, they would have died to that wall charge. I don't think there was anyone there when we last saw it. But if that's the case, you still have to be very careful about these wall charges coming in on this map, especially because we did not see a charge come in last map either. So it's going to be anyone's game here, honestly. It's all up to how either team decides to approach this map and how either team decides to hold these angles on this map. There's a lot of areas of contention here.
It looks like the power play might be in store, ironically, for Status Quo. They might want to wall charge straight into arcade here, and the barbed wire for them would be useless. Some interesting angles being held from the defenders on red team. And Commissar is actually going to drop something. He's dropped an extra mag for the auto behind an arcade machine. So we'll see if the attackers play hide and seek for that. Swiss is going to be leading the charge. He already has his flashbang prepped. Good for him. He knows he's taken his classes for this game. And Jake with the wall charge, slowly creeping up. The clacker's there. Satrems is going to be the first to hear it. And it might go off here in just a second. Swiss ready with the flash. Angles are being taken note, and the breach is going to happen. Garage is the first in. He has a shotgun. He's not going to clear the corner behind him, but his teammates will. A Molotov actually going to shut down half of the push, and it's already down to a 2v3. Derby's rotated out of freezer, but Hentai Investigator could hit the power here. It's going to be all of members of Red stuck on site, and Fishy and Investigator are going to be separated by the Molotov. It's going to be so hard for Fishy to get in here, especially with a shotgun. Flash is going to be there to support him, though, on Investigator. Flash coming deeper into the site, actually going to perfectly aim punch Derby. Cad is on that position, though, in Tellers. It looks like the shutters are opening up, and Investigator might get mace here. That is going to be the case. Cad's going to decide to close it after, and Hentai Investigator's got 2 already, and it's just to a 2v1. He's taken out eventually by Derby, and Fishy's left in a 1v2. Health advantage is on Red, and it looks like they might take the first map. A pistol through the teller door to Cad Monkey. It's just down to Fishy and Derby. Remember, this shotgun hipfire could even kill Derby without the laser. A flash is gonna go off, making Derby think it's on the other side of the map. Fishy's gonna walk here. He's aware of the angle. He's waiting. He's going patiently. He has 30 seconds to play this out. The door is open. If he checks his left here, he's going to get the kill. It's not going to be the case, and Derby's going to take him out. The flick from Derby almost around for Status Quo. But in the end, 5-3 for the first map on Red side. Derby barely cleaning it up that round for his team.
Yeah, that was exceptionally close round to close off this first rotation of maps. Lots of strong plays coming from both teams. We saw Status Quo. They, as soon as that wall charge went off, they went straight for that push, and it works for a little bit. But Cad, I believe it was Cad Monkey, responded instantly with a Molotov, and it burned alive 2 Status Quo members instantly, which was a very smart play from Red Team to just instantly delay that push, and that left Investigator inside of Arcade by himself, while Fishy was kind of left outside, not able to do anything, especially with the shotgun. It was very rough for Fishy to move in, as you said, with a shotgun, especially on those long angles all the way through storefront. Not a very good position to be in, but Fishy made use of it and used the pistol to his advantage, but wasn't enough, sadly, and Red Team does take the first match of this best of 3.
Yeah, it's going to be good on Red. They've definitely set the pace for Status Quo, and while Status Quo has put up a good fight so far, it looks like they're going to either have to change up their plans or maybe rotate out who's doing what to come back against Red, as the potential is still there for both teams to win. Remember, this is a best of 3, so going into a second map, if Status Quo wins this, Red will be forced to a third map, or we might see Red just shut it down here on the second rotation, and they'll move on from the quarters to the they'll move on from the quarters, and Status Quo will just be knocked out at this point. We did see Guac get knocked out in the quarters, which was frustrating for them, I would say, because they beat Red Team. They upset Red Team in the last week of Swiss. But considering Status Quo has gone up against Guac and held their ground, they have just as much potential, if not more, than Guac to beat them. So definitely something to look out from from Status Quo, excuse me. And Red, I bet their confidence is up now. They've won the first map, and Status Quo has pressure now. But second map, we'll see how it, or second rotation of maps, I should say. We'll see how it turns out, as it looks like players are just restarting their games to get ready to get into the second rotation. So, Spooky, tell me, do you have any idea how many games Red has put in since the alpha season? Because a lot of these players seem very experienced for how many games they've played.
I know that a lot of the players on Red Team have been around for a long time, and I know that they're very adamant players of the game, and they're on a lot and just playing quite a bit. And I'm fairly certain that they play together quite a bit, so it kind of shows here that their teamwork is very good, and they're playing together a lot. But I don't know, it's definitely still up to Status Quo to also have the same kind of teamwork that they have and put up a good fight against them. And they did put a good fight up against them as well.
Yeah, considering Status Quo and Red Team have both made it to the playoffs, we'll see which one continues on from here, as it looks like our players are just getting ready to start up. We're waiting for one more player, it seems like. And I'm wondering if we'll see specifically any two-floor kill houses, because some teams are very strong on it, but other teams not so much. So I'm very intrigued to see if we get any interesting new maps, to say the least.
Yeah, I'm definitely interested in seeing a two-floor kill house. I've played on it before. It's definitely something to get your head wrapped around. It's very difficult to understand, but once you get the hang of it, it's actually kind of an interesting map to play on, and very fun. Although most of the time I do see like attackers generally going for the same plans on those two-floor kill houses. So definitely still a little bit of work to be done on those maps, but they're still very interesting and fun to play on sometimes.
It looks like both our teams are queued up now, and we will get into the second match in just a second. I'm assuming you're sticking with Red Team for your prediction, Spooky, or do you have a little bit more faith in Status Quo?
Honestly, Status Quo is putting up more of a fight than I thought. Honestly, I mean, I thought they were a strong team, but it seems like they're on par with Red Team as well. I mean, they were very even in most of these runs. Most of these runs came down to very close matchups, especially in that last round. We had Fishy versus another Red Team member, and it was very, very close. And I don't know. I'm still sticking with Red Team, honestly, but I think that Status Quo can definitely win this as well.
Yep, but we'll see how it goes, as both these teams are going to be getting ready to queue up in a second. But any specific maps you want to point out? Spooky, are there any maps you're looking out for? Any special occasions that you're looking out for? Or are you just ready to get into the second game?
I'm not really looking towards anything specifically. A lot of these maps are very interesting, to say the least, especially those maps that we had the last match that we just saw. They were very interesting maps. I mean, we had factories with huge main areas. We had C-stores with a very large storefront, very shaped very weirdly, and kill houses where people were just spamming through all the walls because of the hallway in the center. I do want to see more interesting kill house action as well. I always love myself some wall bangs through the maps because players get very smart with the angles that they want to hold with these wall bangs. So especially I do want to kind of look towards that.
Oh, DFC, what they did with wall bangs in the last round of Swiss. If you don't know what DFC did, they were in a match against Fluff, and we saw them all stack up on right side backstage. And as soon as Fluff breached the site, it was just a 5-man wall bang onto the bomb, and they got a kill, but not the round. So some fairly not very orthodox strategies, but they are interesting and very fun to watch, to say the least. The crowd loves it. We love it as casters. And while sometimes you need to stick with the strategy, throwing a little bit of a curveball in there is never a bad idea. So give me just a moment. I think we'll have both their teams ready in here in just a second. I know I've said that once or twice already, but everybody is. It seems everybody is ready. I'm not sure why the match has not started yet, but a thing about that kill house. That kill house really reminded me of the window red door kill house. Do you know what I'm talking about?
No, go ahead and inform me.
So there was a kill house map where on the western portion of the map, there was a window that faced the inside of a red door, and you could shotgun through that window to open the red door. So you wouldn't have to use a breach charge. That kill house map really reminded me of it because the window and the door were in the same place. It's just that it was a green door instead of a red door. So some similarities are starting to occur between the maps, and I think some teams have taken note of it as their strategies are kind of similar depending on the map. And considering Factory, I would say is the most sporadic one. That's the one where we don't see the same strategy twice, unless it's obviously the same map or the side swap happens and you're imitating another team or something like that. We never really see the teams do the same thing on the same map because of how expansive the map pool is right now. And like I said, even though there are similarities, it's never the same thing. You always have those small little tweaks that you have to think about. But with that, getting into the second match of the series here, or second set of matches, or what are rotations, whatever you like to call them. I'm not here to tell you vocabulary. I'm just here to cast the game with Spooky. And we are going to see status quo on the attacking side. So let's get right into this second match of our best of three. Starting out on C-Store. Fairly interesting.
Ooh. Just take a look at the layout here. Oh my god, that is a massive storefront.
This is actually one we saw. This is one we saw in our last week of Swiss. So keep note of that. We might see some updated strategies for this.
Yeah, this is a very large storefront and a very strong freezer hold as well. A lot of shelves here to look straight onto the bum. Teller hole is looking straight onto the bum as well, so Tellers is a big point to keep an eye on as well. And although we are seeing that the StatusQuo team is noticing that there is a wall charge opportunity straight onto Tellers, and red team notices as well. So I doubt they'll have anyone in there to risk their lives against the wall charge. And yeah, as the defenders are pointing out here, this corner right here is a very big spot for attackers to just nade it and get rid of anyone hiding in this corner. It's not very good spot to hold a lot of the time, but if they decide to not nade it, then it's not too bad. But it is very risky to sit back there, especially with the nades in play. And considering it's the first round, it's very common for attacking teams to bring nades to clear any barbed wire, especially for going for an eco play. And we are going to see that the StatusQuo team is taking note of all the angles that could be watched from the bomb room here. We're seeing that they want to watch this freezer. They want to smoke it off. They want to breach the tellers to make sure that no one's in tellers and they don't have to worry about that too much. And then all they have to do at that point is just spread out, clear storefront, make sure that all these angles are being held as one person diffuses. So it's going to be a very big fight between Cat Monkey, Satrams, and the attacking team as they breach into this storefront here through the tellers.
Wes is actually going to be the first one in here, it looks like. He does have a shotgun and a flash, so just slowly sweeping over office. The door, or the wall charge, excuse me, is on garage. So we might see not just a storage play, but an interesting breach. The wall charge is going to be dropped out there. It has been cleared, but Derby might get a pick here. Wall charge is down, but it's on the wrong wall, it seems. Interesting.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, no. And not going to be able to get picked up. That utility is basically gone. Garage could blow it and possibly get a kill on Satrems, and that might be the case. That is going to be the case. A long-range shotgun now blowing into Arcade. It looks like he might catch Commissar off guard here, but Commissar finally with the refrag. Swas has cleared out Bathroom, and that north side of the map is going to be given up. An interesting opportunity of angles here, and Derby's going to go for the kill, but Swas shotgunning another. It looks like now Arcade control's been given up. There is going to be a Saber on Hentai Investigator, and it looks like he just wants to hold these hard angles while Fishy goes in for that barbed wire play. Flash onto the bomb. It's going to be Commissar close, but Investigator's going to clear him out with that Saber. The canted sight is not going to be enough to stop the reign of him right now. It's going to be Mason Jake taking a long-range fight, but Cad from the side going to take him out. Swas might take note of that, and there might be an easy kill here for him. Mace finally getting taken out by his own Molotov as Investigator and Fishy push him. Now just a Gruber sitting on the site. It's going to be Investigator to clean him up with that close-range Saber.
Wow.
A clean starting round for Status Quo. While they are all on low health, they've saved their Clacker. They've saved a lot of their utility, it seems like, and a rest in peace to Mace from himself.
I don't think that Status Quo meant to blow that, but honestly, I feel like that worked better than they would have planned, actually, because it allowed them to get a kill on someone. They weren't able to go through the charge per se, but they were able to get a couple kills just watching this angle and shooting Satrems, and that was a big play right off the bat. And honestly, Status Quo, they put the wall charge in the wrong spot and they blew it, but they adapted very well to their misplay, and they were able to just take quick control of the map. Everyone that was south instantly ran up north, and they quickly took control of the rest of the map. And we saw that Mace was held back by 2 attackers, and Mace was just kind of freaking out, trying to Molotov, and ended up hitting himself on accident. But a very, very strong start for Status Quo, and showing that they can adapt to any situation very quickly. And Red Team was very confused, I would imagine, from the wall charge. Definitely caught him off guard, which played very well into Status Quo's hand.
Yeah, almost every time we've seen a wall charge go off incorrectly, there's been some sort of actual like play off of it. Like, I'm pretty sure it was Fluff that had messed up a wall charge on a kill house. They were meaning to go into stage, but they accidentally went into the kitchen just north of it, and that gave them a long range kill with their Saber, actually. So, and excuse me, no, a Black Tar, if I remember correctly. So a lot of teams actually know how to play off their mistakes, and that's good. They are able to make those mid round calls, which is what's needed in these cases, especially with such randomized maps.
Speaking of randomized maps, we've got another factory here, which is certainly an interesting map. This toxic area is very interesting to look at. You've got a catwalk going straight over the pit of death, and a red door leading straight into toxic for the power. But it's definitely a trek to get to the power. Even if you go through this red door, you still have to walk all the way up this catwalk and go straight for the power. It's not very worth it, I would say. This docks area is very long, though. There's 3 possible points of entry here on docks. There's the 1 door, the 3, and the 4 doors. Honestly, the safest door to go through would be the 1 door, because you've got box cover right off the bat right here. You've got entry straight into office, which gives you the height advantage, and you can use this cover right here to smoke off areas, especially back here, and then you can move out here to take the bomb control with your teammates watching over you in office. But it looks like the attackers maybe want to go for a normal eco push here, perhaps through Cerberus. I'm not too sure, but I can't even tell what the teams are thinking at this point, to be fair. There's a lot of things going on the map.
Either. Don't worry, but I'm going to just say, whoever designed this toxic, boy, do they have a love for defenders, because this is going to be a playground if any team decides to push that. All the truck doors are actually going to be open, though, so we'll see dock number 2, dock number 5, and dock number 6 all open. But, of course, the remaining docks, number 1, 3, and 4, are going to stay closed. Obviously, you don't want to let those attackers in. Swas and Investigator are going to be rotating to the north side of the map. It looks like they might want to take office and play for long range while they cover their teammates pushing for site. Jake might put a little bit of pressure on Toxic, especially with a nade. It looks like he's prepped it, and there might be a... No, excuse me, there's not a nade going in. So Garage, Jake, Swas, and Investigator are all going to be on this north side of the map, while Fishy's kind of just chilling. Misses the smoke, which has been a common discussion recently, actually. A lot of smokes aren't going through the windows properly. It seems like the hitboxes are different from the other nades. But a flash is going to go out. They don't know Derby's in office, it seems like. So Jake is just going to push in. Garage is going to have to support him here, or else Jake might get caught off. Garage is going to get the kill on Cat Monkey, but will Jake realize Derby's still in the window? Probably not, as Derby's going to peek out. Now he's going to realize, and he gets the kill. Investigator also putting pressure from that north side of the map. He might get 2 free kills here, but Jake just steals one away from him. It's just down to Red Commissar on this layout. He's got Allegros. He can't do much against 2 close ranges. And it's going to be Investigator and Jake to lead that round for Status Quo. 2-0 for them.
Yeah, another very strong round for StatusQuo. Especially, I saw Jake just going straight from spraying someone in office to instantly knowing that someone probably is behind him and flipping around in a 360 to take out Satrams. Very strong play from Jake there to just instantly flick from one shot to another. Very smart. And it looks like StatusQuo is in a very good spot here. They're picking up defender weapons, and especially that mop is going to come in very handy, and perhaps in the next map, which I believe is going to be the kill house. So if it's the 2-story kill house, then this mop could be very, very helpful for the attacking team, especially on those windows. And even if it's not, there's a lot of spots where the mop can be useful, especially because it's a one-tap to defender, so you don't have to worry about hitting just headshots. You can just worry about getting the shot at least once. And especially with your teammates covering you, then it's all good. Because usually on a tag team, you always have your teammates with you. So even if you miss a shot, you still have your teammates to cover you.
Yep, and that's usually just trading out. If you end up getting killed in your engagement, you have a teammate to back you up. That's also the buddy system. But Status Quo, 2 rounds early on. It's going to be a little bit different from the first set of matches that we saw from our first rotation in this series. And no 2-story kill house, so frustrating. But no mop for the defenders.
Yeah, still actually not too bad of a map for a mop, to be fair. I mean, this reception area is kind of open, so if anyone is sitting inside of here, you can take them out with the mop. And moving into the office, there is a couple areas where the mop could be useful, holding these angles back here, although there is someone that could be hiding back here with a shotgun and shooting to the wall and all that. This hallway, though, is... This hallway, though, is definitely a good spot for a mop as well. And, oh my god, my game is lagging from all the drawing. All right, anyway. A lot of barbed wire spots here coming in from the defenders. I haven't seen any defenders using the barbed wire. Red team, I mean, using the barbed wire in the past few maps. So I think they're just going all out with the barbed wire here and using it here and spreading it out. They've also got this training area to worry about. And
I'm pretty sure both nades are available, so we'll see if just a straight charge comes out from Status Quo.
Yeah, if they have both their nades, then the barbed wire is not going to really do anything, especially on this training door. Like I said, very strong spot to come in through, especially if you have frags. I think one well-placed frag can get rid of both barbed wires here. If you put it right in center of the doorway, you can take out both barbed wire, and you can just instantly move in on the kitchen and take out anyone hiding in this area back here as well, behind the door or anything. This kitchen is very, very, I would say, claustrophobic. It's a very small kitchen to be defending, and having more than one defender in there, I think, is not the play, because honestly, way too close, and one flashbang could honestly just take out the entire room and blind anyone in it. But Red Commissar is there with the auto shotty, so I think we are going to see some wall banks coming in from Red Commissar perhaps on this hallway with the auto shotty.
The initial push is going to be here. Jake with a clacker as well as the door charge. No utility on him, just a Hentai Investigator to back him up. It might be a double breacher. It looks like both clackers are in the hands. A smoke is going to go out to block off the second half of Club, and they're not going to have to worry about hard angles as they push in here. They just have to clear the right and clear in front of them. An initial shot from Derby is going to ring out, but almost no damage. The Cat and Derby are just getting pinched here, while Commissar can't do much. Hentai Investigator is going to pinch onto Derby with FishG, and it looks like the site's already given up. If they just stick the bomb here, they could get it, but Commissar's in the site. He's got the auto, but he is traded out finally, and the bomb's just going to get stuck. It's up to Satrams. He's pushing into the site with the AK. He's going to get taken out by Fishy off the bomb, and it looks like 3 rounds before the first swap have been given to Status Quo. A really good start from them, and they are set up to win this second set.
Yeah, they are starting off extremely strong here. I'm not sure what Red Team is thinking, but this is not a good spot for them to be in. They're down 3 rounds, and Status Quo is up 3 rounds. So it is insane how strong Status Quo has been here on these first few rounds, and just completely securing these attack rounds have been going very exceptionally well for them. They've been saving their utility very smartly, and they used it very smartly here to come in through 2 different red doors and completely pinch whoever was in this kitchen area, and whoever came in through the hallway was just completely pinched as well. Just shot from 2 different angles. There's nothing you can really do about that. Red Commissar tried to come in with the auto shotty, but not enough.
Investigator breached training, and because Derby was trying to back up using cover without getting wallbanged, he just got shot in the back. So that gave a free kill, and then it was only one person on site. And when a site's that small, the auto shotty is effective, but not if there's already 4 people that are trained on only one angle that you can come from. It's kind of like a factory in that case. You have so many angles that you need to watch because there's so many people. You can't just one tap with the auto shotty and then flick to the next, one tap, flick to the next, one tap. That just it really doesn't work that way. It's either you go in methodically and you sweep it out, which works fairly well, or you just go in guns blazing and hope you get kills, which is kind of the second option, which worked out for Red Commissar, but got shut down because there were so many people in the room already. Finally, the side swap is here, though. So we'll see what Red does on the attacking side. See if they imitate status quo or if they go for something different.
It looks like they're going for the normal teller's wall charge perhaps, but I mean honestly, we saw from StatusQuo last time that you don't have to go for a super meta play to win a round. Honestly, just catching your enemy off guard is all you need to do. We saw that StatusQuo wall charge this wall right here, and this gave him sight line straight over here to Satrams to take him out, and that instantly put a wrench in the red team defense. But we'll see, if red team decides to take note of this. They're just going for the normal wall charge, which is not a bad plan by any means. The only thing is that if you go for this teller's push, and it's very common that people do, defenders can just shut the power off, and you can't open this front area. And now you're just stuck in tellers with nothing to do and a wall charge that leads nowhere because it has got you nowhere. Especially if you don't come in with night vision, very, very bad spot to be in. So it's all up to how defenders react to it. But perhaps they'll change their plan up. We'll see. They did erase the line there, so it might mean that they changed their mind, that they want to just go straight for the storefront breach, which is not bad either. But a lot of areas you need to watch when you come into the storefront. The storefront is all the way down south, very big choke point. One well-placed Molotov can completely split your team. You'll have to run through these right sides, and running past this freezer is not something you want to do, especially with someone with a shotgun in there.
Yeah, taking a peek at their arsenal, they have not brought night vision. So we'll see how it pans out here for red team. It is going to be the initial shed breach, but wall charge is down. It looks like they've just opted for a default play. They want to nade that back, and the breach is going to go off. Satrams is flashed into the left side of sight. Fishy's just chilling behind the bomb. Will he get caught out here? He's got a Gruber. He's going to get taken out by Mace immediately. Jake in the smoke, though. He's lurking. Garage opens the door, but he's met with a flurry of bullets. Swas is going to be pushing up on the storage side. The nade isn't going to do anything. It hasn't cleared out anybody. Swas is pushed in. He's got the knack. Will he get it? It's not going to happen. 3 kills on the side of red. Cad, Satrams, and another kill from Satrams, actually. Cleaning up the round for them, giving their first on the board in this what seems like a very dire case for them.
Yeah, we saw that the defenders tried to hold off the storefront breach by just throwing a Molotov, but it went a little bit too deep, and it was a little bit too far to the right, and that allowed the red team to just they honestly just completely ignored the Molotov. They lost a little bit of health, but they ran straight through this hole and just instantly took a right to avoid getting burned for too long. And they took a little bit of damage, but we saw that they did not care. They just wanted to move in together, which is very smart, honestly. If you hold outside and you have teammates inside, the last thing you want to do is leave them inside by themselves, because that's a good way for them to get flanked and shot from all sides from defenders. So they took very good advantage of that misplaced Molotov to just run straight in and watch each other's backs. We did see Investigator try to go for a shotgun flank as well through freezer, which was very well played. They used the smoke that the attackers had placed to run all the way south through storefront to remain undetected. They took out one person, but I believe red team comms instantly called out Investigator behind, and Investigator was not able to catch a second kill, sadly, but it was a very close flank.
Yeah, these maps are looking fairly attacker sided so far. So if red decides to come back with 3-3, then we might see it continue to go in that fashion. Or if status quo decides to get one defender round here, we might see something different on these attacker rounds.
StatusQuo is down one player right now, though. It seems like one of them has accidentally disconnected or their internet's gone. I'm not sure what happened there, but
Fishy is disconnected.
that might be an issue.
That's gonna be rough. That's their in-game leader. So we'll
Yeah,
see what approach
so
they take.
we'll see if that has any effect in the round. Hopefully, Fishy can get back before the round starts, but until then, we're back on this factory map with this very strangely laid out toxic area, but it looks like the attackers don't really want to mess with that too much. The red team wants to go for an office push, it seems, with the red door and just go straight for it, take control of this window. You know, even if they move in through servers as well, they can take this close angle down here on the office, and they don't have to worry about clearing this bottom side of the window. They can just move in straight here to move into the bomb room and clear that out. And they can have people in office coming through docks, watch the south side of the docks, especially if they have a saber or a black tar watching this long angle all across docks, then it's going to be very important for them. Although we are seeing, I believe, a mop next to docks coming from, I'm not sure who that is just yet. Jake. Yeah, there we go. Are seeing a mob coming in from Jake on the south side of docks. So that could be a little bit detrimental to the red team's plan here, especially if they decide to go for this green door as well. But Fishy is back in the map, but I don't think Fishy was able to spawn in before the round started, sadly.
I'm having a little bit of issues here, so I'm just gonna go to our backup. And the push has already started for them. We are gonna see a north side map take, and it looks like the blow is already open. And it looks like red team wants to go for this toxic play. They are gonna push in here, and I'm having some issues. So Spooky, do you mind if you take over for just a moment for me?
Yeah, sure. Attacker's now pushing in to the toxic here. Hentai Investigator is kind of by himself right now, being pinched from two sides, from Cad Monkey and Mace. There is a flash going on. Hentai Investigator is completely down. Mace accidentally team killing Derby, sadly, but getting the kill on Investigator. Cad Monkey is now going down to Swass, and now the power's out. Satrams is on Toxic still. Mace and Red Comets are moving their way down all the way to Docks. Jake is being kind of completely suppressed right now by fire coming from the red team, and Jake's going to go down finally to Mace. And now all it's up to is Swass Garage and actually, that's it. Fishy is still in spawn right now, not able to spawn in. So now it's a 3v2 right now. Swass and Garage are together, though. So this is a very good hold for the defenders if they decide to stick together completely. Red Comps are micro with the defuse here, and Satrams and Mace are in bad spots to kind of hold up against this defense hold. And now we're seeing Garage spray into Red Commissar. There we go. And now it's a 2v2. Mace and Satram's not in a good spot health-wise, and Swass is going straight for a long rotate, kicking open the door, but going down to Satram is making too much noise with that kick, it seems. You don't have to kick those doors open as a defender, actually, so kind of gave away the position, sadly. But Garage now trying to hold off this defense. Satram's just moving left and right to hold off, but not able to do anything considering their barbed wire stopped him, and Satram's going to finish up the defuse here, moving the match to a 3-2 score.
Yeah, that was really good from them. So essentially the push there was almost stopped by a flank as well as a pinch, but it seems Swass just couldn't get through his own barbed wire. We've seen some bad barbed wire replacements from almost every team hurt themselves, because you want to essentially stop an attacker with that barbed wire and possibly play off of it. But if you misinterpret where the attackers are going to go, you can really mess up with your barbed wire placements, and that can hurt you in the end of the day. So kind of a risk, but it usually works out, and in that case, it just didn't work out.
And now it seems we're moving back to this kill house. Very interesting layout in the area in the middle. But Fishy is accidentally disconnecting again, it seems. So defenders are still down another player, sadly. And it's not looking too good for StatusQuo either on these defense rounds. It does seem like you're correct here in assuming that the maps are a little bit attacker-sided. It's very strong attacker rounds coming from both teams, so I'm not sure if it's just a coincidence that the teams are just winning on attack round or if these maps are just kind of laid out like that. But sometimes it's just kind of how it is when you have procedurally generated maps. It's kind of the thing you have to, deal with sometimes. But moving on here, we've got an attack plan setting up here. Perhaps they want to maybe go for the hallway. I'm not too sure. I think they're probably going to go for an eco push here. I'm not sure exactly what red team is thinking. However, we've seen some charges come off from them. We saw last round they did a split push between the green door and the toxic door as well. So they have used one charge, and they also used the wall charge on the C store. So they are still up a door charge, so they can use this to their advantage, I believe. But they're not really making too much use of it just yet, which is fine. You know, a green door and eco push is never a bad idea as long as you have enough flashes and nades to cover it. But yeah, it looks like they're just going for a straight eco push, moving through training and clearing out these doors. Honestly, training is probably the best bet to hold this site because hallway, way too many angles where defenders could be hiding with shotguns. And coming through training, it's a little bit more open and allows attackers to flash in more cleanly and move in through this area, although it's a very big Molotov spot right here. So
yeah, Satram's already in now, and it's going to be Mace right behind him. Fishy may be ready for the flank here, but it looks like Investigator is going to have to lead the brunt force. The wall charge might, or excuse me, not the wall charge. They didn't bring a wall charge. They brought a door charge here. The charge might take him out, but it looks like he's starting to get damaged. Satrams is actually 1 HP. He's done a good amount of damage, and it's going to be Jake to come in on the bomb site to clean up Satrams. That's first kill for the side of Status Quo. The breach is there. They tried to get a kill on the default door, but Garage is sitting close. He's already lit up 2 members of red team, and it looks like Cad's going to get one, but the trade on Mace is there from Jake. The push is now coming in. Derby finally getting the kill onto Garage. That nuisance is out of the way, and Cad's picked up a Molotov off of Fishy. He's going to be coming in this barbed wire here. Jake is going to hear that go off, and Cad might just stall it out with a Molotov. The peek is there from Jake. No damage onto Cad Monkey. A wallbang line has been drawn, and he's just going to throw a Molotov. That's going to stall himself out while he has to rotate club. Swasta is holding the back of the hallway, but the push is there from Derby. Investigator's not going to realize it, but Jake's there to back him up. The buddy system works out in the end, and they're separated. Cad and Red Commissar are completely separated. Swasta's going to make that call that it's a club push, but Jake isn't paying too much attention to it just yet. Cad has started wallbanging, but it's not going to be enough to pick up a kill. All 3 defenders still on fairly high health. Jake is going to take an engagement, but it's going to lower his health down. Cad has opened it up. Will Investigator help him out here? Jake does have the shotgun, but he's going to get Investigator to trade him out. It's now just down to Commissar. Match point is looking very promising here from Investigator, and he's cleaned it up for them. He's cleaned it up for Status Quo, and it's going to be 4-2 match point for this second rotations.
Yeah, we saw a very strong defense coming from Status Quo, and we saw that this map was very strong for attack side as well. But keeping this defense, I think Status Quo is in a very good spot to win out this match specifically, and move the game to a third match. We'll see, but I think it's very plausible that Status Quo is going to bring this to a third match, and perhaps Red Team can make a comeback, but I'm not too sure. They're in kind of a bad spot, especially with these maps being a little bit attacker sided, and Red Team now moving on to defense. So we'll have to see what happens, but we'll see if Status Quo does another funky play with the wall charge again to get in a sight line. I'm not sure if they're planning on doing that again. I doubt it, but it is always a plausible thing. Actually, it seemed like they want to wall charge straight into the tellers once again and go for that play, but they're kind of considering their options here. There's a lot of areas where you could wall charge potentially on C-Store. C-Store is always a great map to wall charge in. You can always go through the storefront, but there's also always areas where you can wall charge straight into the tellers, or you can wall charge into the storefront from inside the map and kind of catch the defenders off guard. But it's all up to how the attack plan wants to go. But honestly, all Status Quo needs to do here is just win out one round, and they'll bring the game to a third match. So I'm expecting them to go completely, all eggs in one basket here.
Yeah, you pointed out that power play, but we haven't actually seen any teams do that. So that would be considerably smart from Red Team if they predict it correctly. But if they do decide to cut the power, that might be bad for them, as the wall charge is looking for office. So Swas, it looks like they want to redeem Swas and put the wall charge on the correct wall this time. But it looks like there's a different plan in place. There is going to be a similar held position from Red Team. There is a mop in the middle of the site, so keep note of that. And Status Quo on the attack. They have brought so much utility into this. They brought the wall charge. They brought 2 smokes. They brought a grenade. They brought all the flashes they need in the world. And you can never forget that clacker. But Derby might be looking for a good line of sight here, as well as Commissar with the auto shotty. The breach may give it away, and Commissar will be ready to rotate. We'll find out as Jake is going to clear that window. Swas has walked up. Garage is going to be the one to breach. He's opened it up with a shotgun. Commissar's aware, and that wall charge has to go down before the flank is in. It's going to be the charge to go down. Will the clacker go off? Yes, it will. Mace is holding it hard. Power's actually going to go out because Cad thinks it's going to be a play on tellers. That's not the case. Power's going to come back on, and Fishy's just chilling on the right side of the map with that AP. He's waiting for it as Derby has actually opened up the round for red. The push is in. Nate has cleared out the south side of sight, and Swas is going to be playing close to Derby. Something risky, but the health on red is already so low. Commissar actually going to get one. We'll see Derby taken out, though, in a trade fashion. The flank is there from Commissar. Swas going to take him out, though. Excuse me. Jake is going to take him out with the support of Swas. Shot goes out from Satram's ringing as Mace gets taken out in the teller position. It's looking promising here for Swas and Jake, but the shots are coming in from Cad Monkey. Jake taking a fight with Satrams. Will the pistol come out victorious? No, it won't. It comes down to a 2v1 on Cad Monkey, but he's going to get taken out. Status Quo taking the second rotation here, and we'll see a third map coming out. Status Quo clawing it back and putting red in the position that was given to them in the first match. So 5-2, good from them.
Yeah, we're going to see a third match here. It's anyone's game at this point. I mean, once again, we've seen these teams just kind of go back and forth with some of these rounds. It was a little bit less so on this rotation of maps, but I think that was just because some of these maps were a little bit too easy for attackers. But we did see that Status Quo was able to defend successfully a map that we thought was attacker-sided. So that just goes to show how strong Status Quo can be, especially against a very attacker-sided map on defense. So we'll see.
I'm assuming they have, like I said before, they definitely have the statistics. They are evenly matched with red, and either team can win this. But I don't really have any post-game notes from that. Do you, Spooky?
Nothing really other than what I've mentioned already during the rounds. I mean, very strong rounds coming from both teams on attack and defense. They put up their best fight, and Status Quo bringing it to a third match is certainly interesting. And I don't know, it could be anyone's game at this point.
Yeah, I'd have to agree with that. I've definitely put a little bit more faith in red after that first map, but Status Quo is still going to be my pick at heart. And I think with that, we're going to be going to a short break before our third and final tile sets come out. So please make sure to stay tuned, as this is going to be a close one, ladies and gentlemen. We saw a similar scoreline for both of the first 2 games. But we will be back with Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Status Quo versus Red Team. This is a quarterfinals match in the playoffs of Due Process League Season 1. So far, we have seen a 5-3 in the first map from Red Team, and we saw a 5-2 on the side of Status Quo for the second. We are going to be moving on to the third map here. And so far, we've seen some pretty close rounds. We've definitely seen some intense firefights, as well as some very interesting plans and some change of plans mid-round. So we'll see which team uses the pressure to their advantage in this third map as we get right into it. Spooky, how are you feeling about this one?
Honestly, I'm kind of surprised. This is going on for quite some time because both teams are exceptionally even. I think. I mean, they're putting up good fights against each other, and a lot of these rounds are coming down to the wire. So, especially that last round of the last rotation, we saw that it was very close. It was a 2v2 right at the end, but Red Team kind of struggled to flank against them, sadly, but StatusQuo just took very quick control of that storefront on their own, and they were able to secure that last round. It's very close so far. I'm very excited to see where we go here.
Yeah, factory map to start out. So,
oh wow,
right
another very large factory map it seems, but it's got an equally large office actually. Very common thread that we've seen on a lot of these maps, that we've got offices that are they've got a lot of cover in them to make it close quarters, but it's also very open considering the surface area it's taking up a lot of the map. And this office actually, surprisingly, compared to the other ones, does not have a window that leads directly to the bomb area, which is very different from what we've seen normally. An interesting layout, not to say the least, because we've got this red door that leads straight into this catwalk, which does go to the bomb, but you still first have to go through this door right here, which leads into the bomb area. And this generator area is very good for defenders to kind of hold off against anyone defusing, but they cannot use the office to their advantage. So I think we're going to see the office used a little bit less, but there's still definitely quite a bit of use in the office, considering the fan right there and the power room, especially in this big toxic area. This toxic vat just blocking off the entire middle section of the power room means that the attackers will have to run all the way through the side here to try to go for the power, which means that anyone sitting in office can just snipe them down as they're running past, especially if there's no flashes or smokes going off. And the fan is also not too bad of a spot to be sitting, especially if you want to go for a green door entry, because then you can just watch it through the fan to make sure that no one's watching this angle right here, and you're kind of safe on this green door push to just move into the office.
Looks like the opportunity here is for Toxic and Storage on the side of Status Quo. There's going to be a lot of conflict here, especially if Mace decides to hold those windows onto power. Flash is going to go in. Fishy's already breached the door, and they're going to be holding this. Mace not able to push his own barbed wire, so they're just given Storage control. A shot is going to ring out from Cad Monkey, but Fishy is not going to receive any damage. Smoke is going to go on to power. Mace is aware of that now. He's going to take a fight, but Commissar's already cleaned up one from that generator position. It is going to be Jake. We're going to see Hentai Investigator go for that power. It is going to turn out that way, and Swas is pushed in. Derby on the close, though. We'll see if he can take him out with the Igmar. Peeks into it, but Swas has the kill. Will Satrams get the refrag? The shot is missed from him as Office is being pressured, but Cat, he has two. He's got Fishy and Guraj already done. It's just down to Swas and Hentai Investigator. It's a 2 versus 4 here, but remember, Mace is going to be on the flank. He's got one, but Swas does have a trade onto Red Commissar. He's taking a fight with Satrams. He's got another, but Mace with the double kill. He's cleaned up on a flank. Swas trying to bring it back after Investigator's taken out, but the callouts just weren't there, and Mace, a ninja, a shroud, a disguised man taking out in the flanks.
Yeah, very, very strong defense coming from Red Team right off the bat. Mace and Cad Monkey just holding the defense off very well. Holding those office areas from Cad Monkey with 2 kills right there, and then Mace cleaning up the last few people as well, getting 2 kills each. Very strong defense start from Red Team. We saw the plays that we've seen. Usually, someone going up into fan to watch it, and then everyone else going into somewhere else. To take advantage of the other entries. But sadly, we saw that StatusQuo was struggling a little bit to take control of the map, and Red Team was just putting their foot down and holding off these angles very well, and it shows that they're warming up here. I think they're starting to get a little bit more into the groove.
Looks like Courtyard's new and improved. Haven't seen that yet.
Oh
Some
yeah.
just some fake shrubbery. We love to see it. So we'll see if either of the teams play off that. And on the side of utility, it does seem like Status Quo are opting for a bit more of an economy play. They haven't picked up a clacker yet, so we may or may not see it. They might go for another eco depending on what red team decides to go for here, as they do want to watch reception.
Yeah, very strange layout here, actually. I mean, we haven't seen many. A lot of the kill outs we've seen are mostly like kind of more squares, but this one's more of like a rectangle shape, and it's definitely more long than it is wide, which is interesting. Very good opportunities here, I would say, for long range weapons like snipers or black tars to be used here. Very open kill house compared to the norm, but we are seeing a couple areas being used here by the defenders as close quarters areas. We are seeing, I believe, this is Commissar in lockers. Very close quarters area right there with the lockers kind of blocking off this area. He's got the knack. Satrams and Derby using their long range weapons very well with the KRs, and Cad Monkey with an Ingmar and Maze with a mop on a kill house map. Very interesting. They're taking note of how long this map is, and they're using it accordingly. Although Commissar is kind of by himself all the way in this north side. Not a lot of reinforcements to help Commissar here. So if they do decide to breach lockers, then they're going to be in a tough spot. But I don't think they are. I think they're just going for the normal breach here through green. But it looks like they want a wall charge, actually.
Exactly. They want to go through office, which it looks like the mop is going to be watching on Mace. The line of sight is there, but Swas is not going to be shot. They're waiting for the door kick, and the smoke's actually cut off Mace. The shot goes out, and it's going to connect even though the smoke's there. Clean shot, just got to line it up one-on-one, and Mace has already put the advantage on red team. They're going to go in for this wall charge now.
Oh, here it goes.
We'll see if Satrams actually gets taken out onto the bomb. It's not going to happen as the wall charge goes off. The team is not ready for this. They're split in half. Commissar may be on the flank, but Derby, he already has 2 investigators into the site, but 2 equal kills are there. Mace actually going to hit another shot, but Jake's got another. He's trying to take Mace, but he's flashed into the site. Investigator trying to clean it up, but Garage is there to help him. Red Commissar on the flank. Investigator's got to clean this up, but Commissar's full health. He's got to take a 2-on-1, but Jake with an AP. The health advantage is on Jake, but he's going to get the kill in the end. Cleaning it up, a chaotic round back and forth between Red and Status Quo there. Jake finally pulling off the defuse, though. He is going to pick up that clacker off his teammate's body, as well as a nade. And we'll see if he picks up that mop. But a turnaround for Status Quo. We saw this round start differently. We saw this map start differently, actually, because Red, this time, in this game of the series, they got the first round, which is different from the last 2. So we'll see if that changes the momentum at all as Status Quo takes the second round.
Yeah, they've still got their clacker here. They're in a good spot for the next map. And we saw that this round, Status Quo had some very good teamwork here. They moved in all together onto the site, and they cleared it out with flashbangs. And once they noticed that Commissar was coming with the flank, the person that was defusing called out where Commissar was, and whoever else was in the site, they knew that they weren't going to take that fight by themselves, so they just ran straight out of the room to meet up with their other teammate, which is very smart to move in to kind of stick with your teammates. The last thing you want to do is take fair fights. You always want to make it an unfair fight, make it a 1v2 instead of making it a fair fight, because then that means you're going to secure that kill right there. And honestly, that's what they did. They moved in together. And one teammate went down, and then they traded it off and were able to get the defuse.
Exactly. So, second round going to Status Quo, and we'll see our C-store layout.
A lot more of a compact C-store from what we're used to, it seems. Storefront is still relatively large. There is a very, very long angle all the way through bathroom, all the way to storage. Completely wide open there. No cover to block that. And the bomb is facing north into this freezer corner. Which means that anyone defusing is going to have to go and make sure that they clear out this freezer, because if they shoot up these shelves, they can just pop out here, shoot anyone coming in, and then run back in. So very risky to defuse here if they aren't clearing out the freezer first. Same thing with the tellers as well. The teller hole is facing directly into the bomb as well. So a lot of things to take note of if you're trying to defuse this map, and a lot of things to take note of if you're trying to defend this map as well. I mean, there's a lot of entrances that the attackers can take it that are actually relatively strong. The shed play is not too bad either. They can go through bathroom, and they have control of this freezer, and they have control of the storefront, both things that we've taken note of that are very detrimental to the bomb defuse. Same thing with storage, though. The storage can go all the way up into office, and you can kind of clear out anyone coming in through green door. and then you can also breach into storefront, so you can make a split here between green door and the storage, and you kind of help each other out. And a lot of opportunities for the attackers here. They did use their wall charge already, so they can't go through the storefront. But it doesn't look like they want to door charge it to get an angle all the way back here, which is very smart. That'll eliminate any threat coming from the freezer shelves. If they try to peek that, they can just have a sniper all the way back here and making sure that angle is clear. It does look like we have...
Commissar is sitting on the button, actually.
Yeah.
And excuse me, if Status Quo tries to imitate that, there might be a wall charge right here in the next rotation, in the next team swap. So,
yeah, that's a very strong play.
So we'll see what they do here, though. It does look like Swiss is going to be the one leading the charge here. He does have an AP, as well as an AK on Jake, and a shotgun on Garage. Charge is going to go down. Clacker is going to be waiting. They're waiting for their teammates to rotate over to this other position. And it looks like both Clackers were brought this round, so there's no reason not to have any utility. It looks like they want to go for the storage breach, but Commissar's there. The rotate's going to come out, but the breach has happened. Hentai Investigator is going to blow it up, and now Satrams, he's stuck in a bad position. He's going to get pinched here if they aren't careful about Commissar. But Investigator still smoked off from his own push. He's going to spot Satrams through the smoke, it seems, but he can't take the fight yet. He can't give up that position. He's waiting for the smoke to fade. The door is breached, but Commissar's, he's just sitting in the smoke. Satrams is going to be taken out in the end by Hentai Investigator, but Mace has a trade into Jake. He also has one on the Hentai Investigator, and Commissar's just sitting. He's got Garage down, and it looks like Fishy's going to be alone as Swass burns in the Molotov of Derby, being cleaned up by Mace. A good round from Red before this team swap goes off.
Yeah, Mace putting in some work there, getting a 3K right there on 2 people on the outside, I believe, right? It was 2 people that were sitting on this store charge. Mace took it very quick control of that area and clearing out anyone that was there, and then also taking out someone else coming in from storage, I believe. So very strong plays coming in from Red Team on the defense.
Mace cleared out Jake in storage there, which gave the auto shotty on Commissar a bit more room. And then after that, he immediately flicked to where the breach was when the smoke faded, because he knew the breach was there. He heard it, but he just couldn't see it, so he didn't know which wall it was on exactly. But as soon as that smoke faded, he was able to watch the angle and just get the easy kill while Investigator was focused on Satrams in the corner. And it was an easy trade for him. Finally, the side swap is going to happen, though, and we'll see what these teams do on the opposing side.
Yeah, so we saw last time, I believe, that Status Quo decided to go for the fan peek here and go for the green door push, and it was effective to a certain extent, but we did see that the red team defended it very well with Cad Monkey in office holding it off with the Ingmar. And I'm interested to see exactly what Status Quo does for defense here to hold off against most of these entrances. There's a lot of areas where the attacking team can completely steamroll through the map. The docks is not the greatest entry point, very open, but it's still a definite possibility. The fan is they usually always have someone sitting up there to watch through and make sure they can pick off anyone, especially because I believe the fan gives you a direct sight line into the office. So this fan is very good to take control of, to make sure that anyone coming in through green door is safe and secure. But it looks like we're just going to see a normal eco push coming from red team here and clearing it out. And it's not a bad play at all. This green door, there is 2 green doors, so it's kind of hard to defend against if you're a defender. So red team being a little bit more smart with their utility and keeping their charges for the next few rounds. I think they saw the wall charge opportunity on C store, like you pointed out. So I think that's probably what they're saving for, perhaps. But we'll see if they take advantage of it.
It looks like Doc isn't actually too bad of a play here, as Mace is going to be rotating south side, but the majority of the majority of red team, not Status Quo, is going to be on the north side of the map. While a breach from Doc would be easy to clear because there's no window facing it, it might be a little bit of a struggle. There might be a power struggle. Pun. I don't know. I can't make jokes, but I'm just going to cast
I don't know.
a kill going to come out from Satrams. One shot ringing out to kill Fishy. A bullet through the skull. Frustrating from him. He's going to have to give a very not clear call out there. It's going to be very clouded as Hentai Investigator knows where Satrams is now. That soft wall might be a disadvantage for SatRams as he has to push through this barbed wire. And Nate is going to go off from Mace to clear that barbed wire as Investigator gets the first pick. They're now stuck in power, and with no night vision right now, it looks like Red is kind of in a dilemma. They have to hold these long angles, but Jake is all the way on the south side with the mop. He's waiting for Mace to open up that door. Flash is going to go off, shot is going to ring out, and office control is given up. It looks like half of the map is a 4-on-4. 4 members from each team split in half. It looks like Garage and Investigator are going to be teaming up here as Mace and Cadmonkey are trying to take on Jake. Shots are going to go out. Jake is finally taken out by Mace. Mace has a double with the Igmar. He picked it up off of Fishy, and it looks like Investigator and Garage are going to have to take 2 each. Investigator does have 1 on Cad, but the trade is there. Garage finally taking it out, and it's going to be Commissar versus Garage. Commissar doesn't have time to rotate. He knows he has to go through that barbed wire. Garage with the Lagros and Red Commissar with the AP. It could be good for Garage here if he gets a headshot, but we'll see Commissar coming up close. The time is ticking. Garage playing close could be the end of him as Commissar's going to rush around the corner. He hears the shots, but he's going to get the kill. 20 seconds to defuse. He's definitely going to make it to the bomb inside, but it doesn't look like he's going to have enough time to pick up what he needs. So, another round going to the side of Red. 1-3. Very close, but Garage almost brought it back there.
Yeah, we saw the mop all the way on dock, which Red Commissar's picking up now, actually. We saw the mop looking all the way down into this green door, which is something I didn't even notice myself. There's a very long angle all the way down here, and it can see all the way back to that first entry, and it's very smart to keep all these doors open so you can do that. But what we saw the attackers doing was they baited out a shot from Jake to shoot that mop, and then they used the time between the reload to just run straight in and run between cover, and they just kept on baiting out shots as they ran in and out of the doorways so that they can clear the distance and close the distance between them and Jake to eventually clear out the mop, which they did. Jake did get a shot on the Cadmonkey, but after that, Jake was kind of left without a shot in his gun. He had to switch to his pistol, and it wasn't enough to take out Cad. And it was a very close round, but Red Team bringing it to a 3-1. And now we're on this very elongated kill house.
Does seem defender-sided, though, so StatusQuo might bring it back here, but we'll see.
Yeah, this is a little bit more of a risky map to attack, honestly. There's a few windows here, especially on this courtyard, that they can use to their advantage to make sure there's no defenders rotating all the way from the site, moving up to control the reception or lockers pushes. But to be fair, these entry points, not the strongest. Lockers, it kind of helps if there's people in reception bothering you, but honestly, all you have to do is just run through reception, go all the way down here, and now you're in the same spot as you would be as in lockers, but now you're not wasting utility. However, this club entry is not too bad either, though, as compared to the reception as well, because you start down here by the south side. If you want to double charge this, considering they haven't used any utility, they can decide to go through this red door, jump out of club, and wall charge into the site here, along with this green door. And they have 2 different sight lines onto the site, and they can clear it out, flashbang in, and defuse the bomb. But it looks like they're going for the red door entry maybe and moving into club, just doing the normal pushes with flashes and nades. Nading kitchen is not a bad idea either. One well-placed nade can take out anyone hiding behind the bomb or anyone in this back area, at least bring them down to low health. So
yeah, Courtyard is actually looking considerably strong here. You want to know one thing? If you could set a player back here to watch this window, there is a long angle right here that goes right around the sandbags to watch that mopping player on defense. So we'll see if that's utilized in this push at all, even if it is planned or not, as Red Team is going to make the advance. Footsteps are probably heard from Swas, to be honest, and he's ready for this push. SatRems with the door charge, it's going to go down. Garage kind of holding the window, and Commissar is going to peek it. Not enough for him, though. He wants to back off and just hold another window. It looks like Investigator is just going to be separated here as the firefights are starting to begin. Commissar is watching this, though, so Hentai Investigator might get cut off if he just attempts to rotate. A strong breach is going to come in. Swas might light up one, and Garage is there to get him, but Cad does have a trade onto Swas. It's going to be into the site. Garage is getting flanked on the right side, but he doesn't realize yet that Mace is on the stage. It's going to be a 3-on-3 as damage is going off onto these players on red. A kill coming from Jake. 2 kills, actually. A trade. And Commissar's just sitting on the window. He uses that strong window angle that I've just pointed out, and he's just almost shut down the defense, but Jake was able to just rotate in and save the teammates. He's going to get the last kill as Investigator. He's just relaxing. He doesn't have to do anything that round. He's just waiting.
Yeah, that was a power move right there from Jake, just clearing out 3 red team members very quickly, just shutting off that attack.
Now. Ooh.
Ooh, that nade might come in handy later.
Especially right before round swap. So we'll see if they make use of it. Pretty sure the next map is going to be our C store, if I'm not incorrect.
Depending on how the C store is, if I remember correctly, there might be a very, very good frag grenade spot for the defenders to take note of.
Store is going to be very compact, so they could shut down a push with not just a Molotov, but with a nade.
Yeah, if I believe there might be a wall charge spot onto tellers, and if there is, not exactly, but there is still definitely wall charge opportunities here. There's always the opportunity, like you mentioned before, to go into this green door, wall charge into the power room, hit this. Considering we haven't seen NVGs be used just yet, and there's also the opportunity to move in through office, wall charge straight in here. But one thing you can do with a frag grenade, if you know that they're going to be wall charging into an area, just preemptively frag grenade it. The wall charge will go off, and then the frag grenade will blow up anyone coming through, which is a very strong move to use against attackers, especially if you've picked up their frag grenades. Using a frag grenade as a defender is so fun, though, because you just pick it up and you can just blow up an entire... I mean, we've seen before that you can blow up an entire attacking force with just one well-placed frag grenade.
Yeah, we've seen 3Ks and 4Ks from frag grenades, and they are definitely one of the stronger tools in the game, and that's why they're so limited. They're key to getting some kills that you need to open up the round, as well as clearing out barbed wire, which is more on the obvious side, but still.
Looks like we're gonna see a normal. There we go. There's the teller breach that I was expecting. You can go from shed all the way to bathroom, and then you go into the bathroom. You can wall charge straight into tellers and hit this button open. You got people on the outside here hiding behind these cars. There's a lot of cars to hide behind outside, so you can just snipe straight in. Though there are some shelves blocking sightlines here, so it's still a little rough sometimes. But you can definitely still see straight into the storefront through the middle there. So it's not a bad play. But Jake does have the nade.
Night vision is here, and Cad Monkey has the wall charge. There is going to be a breach on shed, but that may just be a stall for now, as Cad is going to be slowly moving. StatRams is actually going to arcade. That's going to open up arcade. That's going to be another key element. We might see a wall charge straight into tellers here.
I think Jake is ready for a nade.
We're going to be ready to go in here. Jake is prepped. He's got it cocked, and he's going to open it up. The nade's going in, and he's got 2! Cad and Compass are already taken out. Swust is going to advance on that, and he's got another Hentai Investigator pushing up. He's got Derby, and it's just down to Mace in a 1-on-4. The nade saving the round for Status Quo, and Mace, he has nothing else to do but to go into sight. He's got 1, but the journey has started from him. Will he stop it? Investigators here to stop him, and that's going to be a 3-3 scoreline for Status Quo. The nade shutting down the entire round as Mace just tries desperately to save it.
Yeah, like I said, that nade in that tellers, there's nothing the attackers can do. If they don't notice the nade is in there, they're just going to die to it. I mean, especially with all the chaos going on.
You're not going to hear that nade going tick, tick, tick across the ground when smokes are going off and gunfire's happening. You're not going to hear that.
A lot of chaos.
So,
wow,
good
what a
round
play
from Jake. I bet he's happy with himself right now. I bet Status Quo is doing a little happy dance as they move into this next round swap.
I'm happy about that. I'm always happy to see a good frag grenade go from the defenders.
I mean,
always super fun to see.
Nades are always a good way to go, especially with the amount of power they have. But to factory now, we've seen a good attack as well as a good defense from this, so we'll figure it out.
Yeah, we've got the factory once again, Status Quo on attack and red team on defense. We're back to this, the 3-3 anyone's game at this point, and it's all about who can take this round, I would say, to snowball into the next few rounds. And I think Status Quo is in a good spot. They've just demoralized red team with the frag grenade, so it's not too far-fetched to say that they might win this. It's very close here. It's 3-3. It can go anyway. It's all about who can win this. And we've got a normal push here, it seems, on office. That maybe they want to breach through the red door here and just smoke the bomb site off completely and just go straight for the defuse. Very, very risky move, but it's definitely it definitely pays off if you can get correct. If you can get the smokes off in the correct areas, then it's very, very strong if you can do this. But let's see. I mean, the defenders have got a very basic barbed wire setup as well. They've got the barbed wire setup on Toxic, which is not a bad spot to have it, and on green door as well, stopping anyone coming through that green door entry as well. But I don't think they're going to be very prepared for this breach at all.
It looks like they predicted it slightly, but
yeah, they've got a couple people in office.
Ooh.
We do have Satrams on the staircase, though, that we saw Jake on last time with the mop.
A strong position from him, but nothing is going to be on the side of that map. So he's going to be in a very interesting position, especially with this piece of cover right here on the right side. We'll see what he can do with it, though. With a mop at close range, they are going to be slow walking them, possibly making red team think that they are going the long route and going towards office. Mace and Cad a little bit nervous. Cad doesn't know what to watch except for that red door, as Status Quo are making their slow approach. The breach is there, and we'll get ready for the push. Swas waiting with the smoke. All smokes are set up. The wall charge being put down by Jake. A breach is going to come out, and Satrems and Mace are frantic. All three smokes coming out. Mace is hitting the truck. He might shut it down here, but Jake is going to get a kill after 2 from red team. Jake getting another, saving the round partially, and Garage is going to take a close fight with Derby, taking him out. Satrems does have one with the close range mop, and it looks like Commissar is going to be left alone on site to his own devices. We're going to see him take out Garage, but Swas is going to stick the bomb, and it's going to be the round because red Commissar takes 2 with him. A clean push.
Wow.
But shut down from red Commissar as the callout's not there from Garage.
Yeah, they had a very strong start there with the smokes. The smokes were lined up perfectly. There was no problems there. Satchem's burning himself.
No mop. That means no mop.
Wow.
No mop for the defenders anymore. That might be
I'm
rough.
not sure why that was, but
may have been trying to go for an item and accidentally thrown a Molotov instead of dropping it. You never know. But that might hurt them on Kill House with no mop. We'll see though. As red, definitely with a strong attack on Kill House, but they did get shut down by Jake, who decided to go for a wild flank. We'll see how it turns out though this round.
We have seen so far that this map is definitely difficult to attack. I mean, there's a lot of entry spots, but they're not very strong. We saw last time the club. It can work if you move in as one unit, but it just, if the defense holds it down with Molotovs and close-range weapons, it's kind of hard to take control of that area. So I think the best bet for Status Quo is to move through reception here, especially with all the utility they used last round. They used 3 smokes, which is rough for them, and they lost 1 clacker.
They have both grenades, so if they can win this round, they'll force a match in series point for both teams where Status Quo has more utility. So especially considering our last map will be a power map, they still have all of their night vision. So if Status Quo can win this right now, they are looking at basically a closed game. They just have to worry about firefights in the last round. But red, they've got to stand up here.
Yeah, they've got it at match point right now. Red just all red needs to do is just take a chill pill, just kind of sit back, defend, and make sure the attackers don't get too much of a foothold on the map. And I think they can do it. I think that they have a very good setup here. Status Quo is going to have to go through reception, and Red Commissar is in their path with the auto shotty
on the bomb. Interesting from him. He's standing on top of that bomb. We might actually see a prediction of Red Commissar's position, as he did hold this position last time and go for the flank. So they're going to be aware that somebody might be playing here. Maybe not with the auto, but with something similar. Smoke is going to cut off lockers as Swas might go in alone here. The flash is ready. Breach is out. Auto shot, he's gone off. He's jerked, but not enough. Hentai Investigator's gonna try to take the fight. Commissar's gonna get the kill, but he's out of ammo. Swas could easily get the trade here.
Oh,
Flash is gonna go.
Commissar
with the smoke. He's gone. He's going through his own barbed wire. Swas actually gonna get the kill as Derby pushes up for the trade, but Fishy's here to back him up. Swas still almost on full health. We're gonna see the red door opened up for Garage. He does have a nade to clear out this barbed wire now. It's gonna go off. We'll see Swas back up actually. Take a little bit of damage. Not good for him, but Derby is sitting on site. Molotov is out. Stall is there, but nobody's gone for a flank. Jake is going to be holding this long side here as Mace just watches it. It's going to be a kitchen hold from Red as Status Quo, a 4-on-4 health disadvantage. Maybe a bit of a struggle here for them. Garage is going in. Derby's got to back him up. Cat has been revealed on the site, and it's going to be all three going in. Derby going to be put up against the 1v3 as Satrams is taken out. The trade is there. Cat's going to go in. He's got two, and it's just down to Jake. Will he clutch up? It's going to be a fight against the Black Tower. He's got it. And Cad with the knack. It's an AP versus a knack. If the flash is used perfectly here, it could be the final round. We'll see. As he's going to take simple shots. 35 seconds on the board. Cad's going to go for the peak. Jake pushing out. He's pushing in. He's got the He's 4-4 series and point for Status Quo. 4v4. Excuse me, not 4v4, but round 4-4. Jake, another 2v1. Closing it for Status Quo. And the pressure is on for Red Team.
Yeah, Cad got a little bit too ahead of himself there rushing. Didn't need to do that. All he needed to do was sit back, and Jake used that advantage to just spray him down and go for that defuse.
And the auto shot he's recovered for Storefront. Oh, yeah. No. Power.
It's looking bad for Red Team.
Might be the play here. We'll figure it out, though.
I saw last round that Commissar had the auto shotty, and he did bring both drums. What we saw him do was he had the auto shotty, and he spawned in and dropped a mag in a corner to hide it, and then
behind one of the arcade
he spammed
machines.
it. No, just last round he put it behind a locker, and
last round
he had both drums of the auto shotty. He spammed it into the doorway, and then when he went to go reload, he ran to the back lockers and picked it up, and then ran all the way down, but sadly died shortly after. So we didn't get to see it used too much, but
both door charges are an option here for Status Quo. So, I'm actually not sure if they have any clackers left, considering that I had to open a red door from the inside. They are going for night vision, so they might just have to do a green push here, but it looks like a door charge has been picked up, so maybe they have a clacker, maybe there's, maybe I'm just a little bit off, but the defenders definitely under pressure now, so we'll see what the dire plan is here, what the desperate measures are as Status Quo prepares for their final attack of this series.
Yeah, this match so far, this matchup has been extremely close. We're bringing it to a 4-4 here.
On the final map.
It's the final map. This is the last chance that either team has to move into the semifinals.
Yeah, and I'm going to say now,
very close.
This is going to be one of our longest DPL matches ever. I'm pretty sure our longest before this was actually about an hour and 40 minutes because that went to full 3 maps. But as of right now, not including breaks, we're at about an hour and 40 minutes. So we'll see what they can pull off here.
Yeah, we've definitely been going on for a long time here. Extremely long round, or extremely long match, and we're bringing it to a close here. We'll see which team can come away with the win here.
Yeah, Commissar's in an interesting position, though. He does like to play these corners with shotguns, so we'll see if the clear comes in, as Swas is going to be leading the slow walk. Garage does have that saber, so it seems like they might be opting to breach one of these shutters as soon as they open up red door. Satrams does have a Ligros and a Molotov to stop the push, but that's just going to give time to breach storefront. We'll see, though. As Swas, he's going to set up his flash here as Hentai Investigator. He's got the clacker out. Door charge on Jake. It's set down. Hentai Investigator ready to breach. He's waiting for the call from his in-game leader, Fishy. Swas has prepped the flash. It goes in. Molotov's gonna go out, and Swas is separated, but he's immediately gonna go for the power with Fishy. Good for Fishy to go through that, and they're gonna have to clear out Commissar. This might be hard for him. Commissar's gonna go for the shot. Swas doesn't notice, but he's already through arcade. Fishy's got the flank, and Swas, he's still going. Finally gonna be taken out by Derby, though, and Fishy's gonna take the engagement. Derby only taking a little bit of damage. So on the side of Fishy, they're going to have to use something to clear it out here as Garage. The breach is there. They actually use the door charge to clear out the barbed wire. Now Garage can take the fight here against Mace. It is going to be a peek. Garage got Sat Rams. He might clean it up, but Mace has one. And as Hentai Investigator goes in with the auto, it's looking clean for Status Quo here as Fishy gets taken out. It's just down to a 2v2. Jake has cleared out the bomb as Cat is left in Tellers. He's left alone as Hentai Investigator has a shotgun. He can pressure it out, and Status Quo cleaning up, taking the same position as Guac, and another upset from Status Quo, giving them the series 5-4, one of the longest and most intense matches we have seen so far in this season of DPL. I am thrilled to see that. That is a rush for Status Quo.
Extremely close rounds this entire time, and Status Quo showing that they can close it up and get the win here. And wow, wow, that was just extremely tense right at the end there. And just Status Quo had better utility right there. We saw that last round that, Red team was kind of low on guns there. They were all using extremely close range weapons on a storefront that was pretty long, actually. So kind of rough for them to have to use close quarters weapons there, and Status Quo just cleaning it up.
Yeah, that was really good on their part. Status Quo, they didn't falter under pressure there, and I've heard from Fishy, the in-game leader of Status Quo, that pressure has gotten to the team before, but considering they just knocked out the number 4 team out of qualifying for even the semifinals, it's a rush. It's a rush for them. They are going to be so proud of themselves. And hopefully that boosts their confidence. Hopefully they bring it even further as the frustration of Red Team has already started to come out. It seems like frustrating, but it's always frustrating to see a team go out like that. But a rush from Status Quo. So we'll see who we get an interview here with. It seems we're going to get an interview with Garage. So we'll be starting that in just a second. Any post-game notes before we get into our interview, Spooky?
Nothing really. I mean, I'm still lost for words. A very extremely close game, and quite honestly, the longest I've seen so far. The best of 3 really spreading its wings here, and we went to 3 games, and each of the games went for possibly the longest they probably could have. I mean, the rounds were tense. The clutches were there, and we saw Status Quo close it up and win. And now we've got Garage here for an interview. Garage, how do you feel about your win?
Oh, I'm a loss for words, man. Such a close game here. Got Hentai Investigator here pulling it through the last round here. Very crazy.
Yeah. The confidence was there definitely in the third map. It seemed a little bit dire in the first, but I know you guys were struggling because Fishy told me a while back that there were definitely some confidence issues and just trying to get better, like trying to match other teams right now. How do you feel now that you've beaten the number 4 team? You've knocked them out. What are you feeling?
Oh, I've drank so much caffeine today. I'm going to pass out in like 5 minutes here. Like we were pretty down. We're not feeling too much confident in the first game, but after we saw what Swas did when he failed to place the wall charge on the storefront play, and how smart he was that he did that, because we actually won that round because of his brilliancy and his intelligence when he did that play. So it really gave us that boost to win.
Yeah, I would not be able to give you any more words even if I tried. I really am just astonished. You guys definitely pulled through in this game. And like I said, lost for words here, Spooky. Could you maybe fill for me and get this interview going? Because I have no idea what to ask after that.
I'd just like to ask what you guys were thinking when all these rounds were just going like a tug of war. It was just one team was winning and then the other team was winning, and then it was just very even the entire time. So what was your game plan to kind of make it go towards your end and to start securing round more?
Oh well, when we noticed that when SWAS did that play that I mentioned, they couldn't really react to what we did. So we just kept on making a plan and then just telling SWAS to like not like remove something important to the plan so that it would be like crazy. And I think that's what made us like win this. The game plan was to just like not play properly.
Fair.
Yeah,
That's a fair analysis.
Yeah, I saw. And another thing I'd like to ask is how you guys kind of recovered with Fishy DCing kind of through the match, and how you guys kind of adapted to that change and took over in his absence.
Yeah, so when he DC'd, we had no forewarning that he would do that, but he later on told us that he was using his mobile hotspot after that and his phone. So even though it was a little bit shaky, he pulled off quite a good plays. And I mean, when we saw that even without Fishy, we could still win a round against Red Team, it was crazy to get that boost of confidence there.
Yeah, you guys played very, very well, and we saw a lot of smart plays coming from both teams, honestly. But you guys definitely had a lot of plays going, and a lot of gunfights were just coming down to the wire. I mean, it was crazy. And also another thing that I saw that I very much enjoyed was you guys picking up the frag grenade and using it against the red team when they were in tellers.
Yeah, just all thanks to Jake and his brilliant play there in the tellers. Really props to him for that.
Props to your team just in general. You guys did a fantastic job bringing it back, and I don't have much else to say besides congratulating you all. You are going to the semis, where I'm not sure if it's going to be DFC or another team you're going up against, but we will find out. So, do you have any last words you want to say to the supporters of StatusQuo out there, or do you want to just say something to your teammates? Then go right ahead.
Oh, I definitely want to thank our previous team captain Combs for supporting us through this entire league and this season. He's really helped us, making the team work, and thanks to him that we stand here today.
Well, there's the shout out from Garage. I think after a pretty intense match, Spooky, we're gonna have to recover as we come back tomorrow with some more intense games. So, like we said, very close one. We did see it go the full 3 maps as well as a 4-4 scoreline on the final map. StatusQuo winning it out though. A good job from them, and Red Team sadly being knocked out, but that is not the end. We will see a lot of these teams come back for Season 2. So stay tuned for the next other matches. And Spooky, unless you have anything else to say, I think we're ready to wrap it up here.
Yeah, just go ahead and wrap it up things here and, talk about the next few games that we got going on. A lot of interesting matchups coming in up pretty soon.
Yeah, I'd have to agree. Interesting matchups are going to be coming. What I'm really excited for is especially that Fluff matchup. We'll see who they go up against, as they were a dominant force during the Swiss. They went 4-0. So we'll see how it turns out. But Garage, I just want to thank you one more time for this interview. And I think with that, we're ready to close it up in the studio. So I want to thank you all for coming by. This was StatusQuo versus Red. And stay tuned for the next quarterfinal match, which we will see tomorrow at the same time as today. So thank you everybody for stopping by. And this was Due Process League, as the second match of the playoffs have concluded.
Turn it on.